Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a few weeks since I put a video out and there's a really simple reason for it. A, I've been really busy, but secondly I haven't had much to show you. I haven't been down here a lot because of the weather, the rain, it has been really wet here. So I haven't put a video out and that's the simple answer to it. But I am down here today and there are a few things that I have to show you and update you on. So over the last few weeks I have been doing a few bits and bobs, a few jobs, just in between the rain and things like that. And I've come to a couple of decisions that I've made about the plot. Now, one of the things I've decided is the greenhouse. So, as you know, I love growing under cover. It is a lovely greenhouse. It's 6 by 8, and to be honest with you, it's too small. So I kind of managed with it over the last few growing seasons, but I have also got a little bit of envy of other growing sites on this site. And in particular, there is a new polytunnel which has been erected. You can probably see it just over the back here. And I'm quite jealous actually, because it looks really nice and it's big. It's 15 by 10, I believe. So it might not be something I will get that big, but I think 6 by 8 is too small. So probably going to go in the middle, probably 8 by 10 or 10 by 10. So yes, that is the first decision. When the polytunnel will come, I don't know, but the greenhouse has been sold. So it's gone to a lovely lady on my site called Hilary. She's been after a greenhouse for a long time. So we're just going to move it over the next few weeks to her plot, which is about 4 plots down. So she'll be having the greenhouse. So yes, that's the first change. And the second one is this area here, which was a bed, and I've decided to add another raised bed here. And part of that reason is this is where the polytunnel is going to go. So my plan is that the polytunnel will take potentially up this space. So it's going to come into the beds. And therefore I'm going to need a pathway that's a little bit further back. So I've wood chipped it all just so I can keep the weeds down, but potentially this is all going to be the polytunnel site. So that will mean I'll just have a raised bed potentially just in front of it, maybe another one depending on how big I go, because as I say I haven't made the decision as to how long I want it, whether I want 15 foot or whether I want 10 foot. So that's the first thing. So as soon as the greenhouse is gone, I said to Hilary January time, but we might move it before then, I don't know. But yeah, that's the plan. So that's kept you up to date with all the changes that I've made to the plot and the few decisions that I've made. Let me just show you around because we've had some frost here. And my lovely dahlias that were the dahlias or dahlias, I never know. But my lovely dahlias, I'm going to say dahlias, they've got the frost and they've ended up looking like this, which is a shame because they would look so beautiful in the summer, and now they don't. So yes, it's kind of that. Excuse you wobbling. You're on the gate at the moment, and I haven't got my tripod with me, so the gate's blowing in the wind. So if you're rocking and rolling a little bit, that's why. So if I'm making you dizzy, I do apologise. But yeah, there's a few things. So let me go and show you around and see what's going on. So the first job has to be sorting out that dahlia bed because it just needs sorting out. So I'm going to take the dahlias out that are in there, and then I'm just going to put some wood chip over the top. We get quite a few bits of wood chip delivered here, and there's some that's been delivered, so I'm just going to use that to mulch over the top. So then that way it stops them from, I think, rotting mainly is the problem. But I am going to leave them in the ground. I haven't decided to dig them out. So that is my first job. So that's the dahlia bed that's all mulch, which is great because that can be another bed that's put to sleep for the winter months, so it's ready in the spring, just for when the dahlias start coming back up again, which will be great. So let's show you. There we go. So the bed is now mulched. I put a really thick layer of wood chip on here just to mulch it over the winter months. So I'm hoping that that is going to be okay. I haven't grown dahlias before, and I should have really came down and done this before we had the frost. But I didn't really think we would get a frost, to be honest, because we don't normally get one until about the 12th of December. And we're last week of November, 20 something of November. So we shouldn't have had a frost yet. So I didn't really think we would get one, to be honest, even though they were forecasting this beast from the east, an icy blast. I didn't think it was going to get to us. I thought it was going to be up north. But that's a learn for me, to be honest, because, as I say, I should have really checked a little bit more. But I think they'll be okay. The stems are quite green, so I think they'll be okay. I think I've caught them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll have another little dahlia display next year. Fingers crossed. A couple of other little bits and pieces I've been getting on with. This bed here has now been completely mulched. I think this is cow's manure that we put on here, so it should be okay. But I'm testing it on this bed here just to see how it does, and it's the only place on the plot that I put it. So if it does have anything that I don't want, then I know that it's the manure and not to use it next year. I have used it on the bed previously. I used it where I've now got the raised bed at the top, and it was fine. It was fine, to be honest, but I'm just a little bit cautious because I've heard things about manure that perhaps you shouldn't use it, but I'm just testing the waters just to see how it gets on, to be honest, and if I do find problems, then I just won't use it again next year. So we shall see. Okay, so I've come into the greenhouse because it's a little bit windy out there. It's a little bit cold, and the lowest it's been is actually -3 in the greenhouse, looking at it, and it's 20 degrees in here now. So, yes. The other option, of course, is do I just get a bigger greenhouse? I don't know. I don't know. But because of the recent frost, I do need to now sort some bits out in this greenhouse just so it can actually be completely cleared now and it's ready to go for when Hillary comes and collects it. Because I'm sure she doesn't want my bits in it when she comes to move it. So yeah, I think that's the next job for me, is to actually clear this greenhouse out. Let's go then. So the other reason I've decided to change the greenhouse to a polytunnel is the accident that I had. You may or may not remember. I was putting these canes in for these peppers. It was actually this cane, by the looks of it. It snapped, and I went through the sides of the greenhouse. So that's the other reason I've decided to change it for a polytunnel. Sorry, I'm talking to you like this now. Frost has now completely killed off the last of my peppers that were in here. You can see not much growing on them now, so I'm going to get these out as well. So when it comes to moving this greenhouse, it's pretty much done. It's not going far actually. It's not going far at all. It is going. Let me show you. So looking at the plots from here, you see this greenhouse here. The plot next to it is another plot holder, and then it's beyond there. So where those blue barrels are, I don't know if you can see them here, where they are, basically where we're going to move the greenhouse to. So it's not got far to go at all, which is good, really good. So I'm going to help Hillary do that, help her take the glass out and move the frame over. First I need to clear this greenhouse out. So let's get on with it.
Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are, and it's all for you. It's It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping, 'cause you fear the night. And days without eating, 'cause it ain't enough for two. And it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you.
So the greenhouse has all been emptied out. I've actually found some garlic down here that's growing, so I've just left it in because these beds will be on the outside. So yeah, I've just left it in. I think this is also garlic. I've left the I actually think I left the sign in. Not too sure if it's garlic. It's planted quite close together, but yeah, nice to have some garlic growing in the greenhouse. I remember planting it and I remember it didn't do too well, so it's obviously from a previous season, so it's good that it's actually starting to come up now, because yeah, I'll probably get an early garlic harvest. I think it's going to need the cold, and we've certainly had that, so fingers crossed they actually come to have a garlic harvest. It's actually really pleasing to know that it's all cleared out now. I've taken the irrigation system down that was there, and I've just removed the plantation that was there as well, just so it's now really clear, and then when Hillary's ready she can just come and get the greenhouse. So the other thing I want to do, just makes it easier when we do come to move the greenhouse, is to trim that apple tree. So I'm going to just give that a quick trim now. I don't actually know what I'm doing when it comes to pruning trees, but all I'm doing is checking for crossing branches, checking for ones that are diseased and dead, or dying, and just opening out the front. So I probably tripped it a little bit too much. The last apple tree I had on my other plot got a little bit out of control, so I just want to keep this one to side. So I'll show you. It's probably a little bit too much, but I've just tried to keep the heights down as much as I can here, and then just open out the middle, and then obviously just take it away from the glass that's down here, so we've got a little bit more room when it comes to move the greenhouse. Raspberries. These aren't raspberries. These are blackberries that have come on really well, and the idea was to train them against the fence, but they've got a little unruly, so I'm not going to do that today. One of the next jobs that I think I need to do is just to train these blackcurrants a little bit. Are they blackcurrants? No, they're blackberries a little bit, so they don't just roam the plot and go a little bit wild, because that's what they've done. They were planted this year, so they should be okay. They didn't fruit, but I think they fruit next year, so I'm just going to tie in what's there, so it's a little bit tidier. That's why I had this fencing here, so I could put the fencing and grow them along the fencing. But at the moment they've just been left loose because I haven't tied them in. So yeah, that's another job to do. So there we are. That has updated you on everything that is to do with the plot. So I don't know when I'm going to get the polytunnel. It might be early next year, might not. It's going to be one of those things that I need to save up the money for, and secondly, I'm actually going to build it myself. So you can get the team to come and construct it from you, but I've decided, mainly for cost reasons, that I'm going to build it myself. So a few people have offered to help me, especially when it comes to putting the cover on, because I understand that is the hardest part of the construction of the polytunnel. but the rest of it looks quite straightforward. I've seen a couple of videos, so I'm going to buy the tunnel from First Tunnels because they've just been recommended so many times to me in the past. And that polytunnel from over there is a First Tunnels polytunnel. So I'm going to get it from them. But where they're based, it's quite expensive for them to come and erect it and construct it as well. Because they're in Lancashire, I believe, and I'm way down in Sussex. So it is a bit of a trek. So I'm going to do it myself. I'm not very DIY at all, I have to say. When it came to building the raised bed, it wasn't the best, and I think someone really kindly, secretly came and fixed it for me. But part of that was I didn't have the tools. I didn't have a drill. I didn't really have any tools. So obviously this is a project that I'm going to be planning. So part of the Christmas list has got some tools on it. Bearing in mind I'm hoping to get this polytunnel. So yeah, that is the real plan, and will be for the next sort of few months, I guess, until I actually manage to order it for one, decide what size to have, that's secondly, and thirdly, construct it myself. So yeah, happy plans, happy plans. I will be pleased when it's done. I've always wanted one, and selling the greenhouse before I've actually ordered it will spur me on to actually get a polytunnel bought and hopefully erected as well. If not, I might have to get someone out to come and help me. So we shall see. Part of the reason I want to do it myself, though, is because I want to show people how easy or not easy it is. Bearing in mind I don't have much DIY skills, because I think a lot of people get put off by it. And I might be really naive saying this. It looks quite easy to put together, to be honest. I might be a little bit naive saying that because I've never constructed one before. But we'll see. I'm not in a rush any way, shape, or form, and it's probably going to be one of those YouTube videos that just goes on forever. But that will be what it will be. It'll either be a long list of videos or it'll be a really short one because I can't do it, and I'll have to get someone in to do it. So we'll see. But yes, thanks for watching. Take care.